What's up, you all? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to talk about one of our favorite stock that used to be on this channel, ticker symbol CTRM, Castor Maritime Inc. The stock is trading at $2.60. There was a reverse split, there was a stock dilution, and there is a massive company growth, but it is hurting the stock price in the interim. So we are going to talk about three specific things. The first one is how the stock is trading, what the volume looks like, what is one of the recent good news about CTRM that we should consider, and the last thing is what is going on for CTRM in the short term. What is the futuristic price point for CTRM could be. I'm not going to precisely do a price prediction, but we will look into the price range as to where CTRM can move from this price point. So let's talk about CTRM. Now before we go there, I just wanted to say subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We are at 12,500 subscribers. I want to hit 13,000 as soon as possible, so your help is very much appreciated. I'm not a financial advisor, but do a lot of research. I do a lot of analysis, and I share it with you, hoping you can also make informed financial decision, and that will help your investment journey. So click on the subscribe button, click on the like button, and also if you want to support the channel, join the Patreon group that I have that will help me getting some of this subscription that I'm looking for, and it will fund for the help for the efforts and time I put into this channel and sharing this information with you. So I have the Patreon link down in the description below. You can check it out as well. We are a very small group, and we talk about a lot of penny stocks, stocks and finance in general, some of the cryptocurrencies in general as well. And once again, we are a small group, but we are growing as we go. Let's talk about CTRM. So $2.60. If you take a look at for 5 days, the stock is down 6.14%. For 1 month, the stock is down 16%. For 6 months, the stock is up 40%. So if you take a look at the year to date, it's 39.78%. It used to be much higher return than what you see right now. So $17.30, which is before the reverse split that the stock has announced, and for 1 year, if you take a look, it's 20% down right now. Now for 52-week range, $1.12 to $19.50. Once again, you might not have seen these numbers because of the reverse split. It has been impacting the price point that you're looking into. I think if you take a look at the previous pre-reverse split, it was around $2.95 if I remember that correctly, or something along those lines, with the market cap of, very small market cap of $233 million. It's a relatively new company, founded in 2016, rapidly grew. 7 million is the net revenue, with the net income of 1.13 million, which is positive, and it is up 533% year over year. In Q4, as you can see, the income was negative, so $768,000 negative net income, with the revenue of 4.39 million. Now what happened come Q2? It's 7 million with the net income of 1.13 million. So my point here is they are going to grow in terms of the revenue. They will be growing in terms of the net income as well, because the revenue grows, the net income, the profitability, and the margin, operating margin, will grow for CTRM, but it is going to pay the toll. And why I'm saying that is, it was a small company founded in 2016. They started with growth-oriented global shipping company with a wide variety of commodities along worldwide shipping routes through their ownership of dry bulk vessels. So they started with the dry bulk vessels, they expanded into the tanker vessels as well. So now they also ship the tanker or the liquid commodities as well, which is where they're expanding. They used to be a pretty small company and rapidly grew. If you take a look once again right here, and during the pandemic year, 2.73 million, Q2 2020, 2.59 million, Q3 2020, the revenue is 2.79 million, Q4 almost bumped up to double, 4.39 million in Q1. Again, even more revenue, a pretty good jump. Year over year revenue jump is 155%, with 7 million, close to $7 million in revenue, with the net income once again over $1 million. The cash on hand is kind of a challenge, because this is an industry that is going to put a lot more cash on hand to buy more and more vessels. They will generate more and more revenue, and that way they can generate more and more profit. So it might not be in a short term. It used to be a meme stock, very, very popular stock with a high volume, as we can think of for this penny stock earlier in 2021. The cash on hand at the moment is 62.34 million at the end of Q1 when they declared the results. One of the article that I want to leave you with, which is a very good article and that suggests some of the things that CTRM has done so far. Castor Maritime is drowning in an endless sea of delusion, and I don't blame this article because they have been raising more and more capital. They have been raising, that is stock delusion, then they do the reverse split, and there is a benefit that I will talk in one more minute. But let's go through this article. So a year ago, CTRM represented a tiny little company owned by only a handful of shipping vessels. What happened fast forward? They own up to 26 ships right now, and the company is operating with the financial at the moment looks terrible, which is not surprising given the past history of the shipping industry, more or less. However, with so many vessels now in operation, the Castor will have a brighter future, and that's the goal anyway. So if you are holding CTRM for a long term, if you're a long-term investor, this might not be a bad thing. If you're looking for an overnight profit, CTRM is probably not your stock. Let's take a look. Traders don't appear to be valuing CTRM stock on the fundamental basis. It turns into a social media name. We saw that there is a lot of buzz on Reddit and Wall Street Bets, and it had higher short volume in the interest back in January. There was some impact with AMC, GME, and also CTRM got some of the restrictions from Robinhood and some other trading platform as well. And it started the rip to the upside along with the other meme stocks. Now, excess delusion reverse split. When it went public, it had about 3 million shares outstanding pre-reverse split. By the spring, it ballooned to 1 billion shares outstanding. And think about for a second, CTRM increased its share by outstanding several hundred times just in a few years, given that it's a company was founded in 2016. This is a sort of printing that puts even the world's most famous central bankers to shame. So this is what the author is writing. Now let's take a look. Federal Reserve spinning. Now what happened exactly? When we're looking into the prices and the pandemic, CTRM did not stop. It started growing. It started growing in terms of the number of shares. It started growing also in the number of vessels that they acquired and got the possession of into their business. It grew the revenue, as I just mentioned, and at the end of the day, it also increased their overall earning as well. But at the moment, if someone asks to this author based on this article, CTRM stock is still not a buy. At some point, it may become buy, but there is no need to rush into the trade here as per this article. As long as Castor Maritime share printing machine is running at full steam ahead, the stock will continue to slide because the stock dilution is kind of a challenge right now. But in the long term, it might be a good stock. If you are an investor holding for long, might be a good thing. There is a little reason to have particular confidence in CTRM right at the moment because of some of the challenges that we just explained. Its operators took advantage of the market and grew their business as well because the market was down, kind of the pandemic. They had opportunity to buy more and more vessels, so on and so forth. But the good news I wanted to share is Castor Maritime announced the compliance with the NASDAQ's minimum bid price rule requirement. We talked on this channel multiple times that $1 is the minimum bid price rule requirement for NASDAQ for a stock to stay above. Otherwise, you get the deficiency notice. Castor Maritime was on the deficiency notice for more than a year. Finally, the reverse split it, and it met the minimum price bid rule requirement, as we can think about. Now, what's happening with Castor Maritime is precisely right here. Right before 6 or 7 days, Castor Maritime announced new charter agreement and delivery of the one of the vessel that you can see right here. Before that, they announced, I covered just right here. Once again, they announced new charter agreement with one more vessel. They met the minimum bid price rule requirement. There's Magic Eclipse, and they entered into an agreement with the charter vessel as well. And so on and so forth. Basically, they raise capital, they raise revenue. They raise capital, they buy more vessel, they raise revenue, they raise income. That's the goal that CTRM has. If you take a look, the volume is so down. Like, in my opinion, they used to trade consistently about 100 million in daily transaction volume, which is dropped to 3.8 3.9 million. If you think about reverse split, ideally it should have a little bit more revenue in terms of percentage. On the contrary, it went down, which is not a great sign. But once again, it's in the consolidation phase. We saw that after the reverse split, it was around $3.75, I want to say, 65 cents, and it started sliding, and right now it shed $1 out of 365. It is 260, 265 ish. So once again, it cut down the price by 33%, or a little bit more, 35%. So if you're a long-term investor, that's your stock. If you are looking for short-term cash, this might not be a buy just at the moment. But once again, this is the type of the industry that is CTRM is in. It's a cash-savvy industry. It's a cash-burning industry. I just wanted to share. Someone on my Patreon group mentioned that they want to know some more about CTRM. So here I am with this information. Looking at this chart, we can see this kind of chart once again if the penny stocks gain traction. Lately, we have seen the market was sideways after the starting boom of the penny stocks beginning of 2021. We saw the shift into the penny stock. Once we saw the shift into the penny stock, we saw the crypto. Now the crypto, if you think about Doge, including Bitcoin went to $65,000. Dogecoin went to 72 cents. Shiba Inu got a lot of traction. SafeMoon was another cryptocurrency that was a big buzz around the town, and we saw Bonfire as well, in addition to many other cryptocurrency. Right now we are seeing a lot of momentum in Shiba Inu, also in Dogecoin and some of the other cryptocurrencies as well. So as you can see, if we need to see this bump, we need to see a strong number in terms of the revenue from CTRM, which we may see, by the way, in upcoming quarters. We need to see the net income of doubling up and sustain this kind of growth that the company already has. And there is a bright future ahead for CTRM if they meet all the revenue and net income requirement, and if there is not a huge stock dilution. We are looking at a brighter future for CTRM. If you're invested, happy investing. If you have more questions, join the Patreon group and my private Discord. I'm happy to chat more about it. Videos are not always the best and easiest thing to do, but I'll make sure I keep providing you the value. Sign up to my channel by clicking the subscribe button. Click on the like button as well. I will see you in the next video.